Welcome everyone to this expert presentation entitled First Generation College-Bound Students, I'm the First in My Family, Supporting Trailblazing Students and Navigating the University System. We are glad you can all join us today. My name is TJ and I will be your moderator for this presentation. This session will be recorded and posted on the event site for you to return and watch at your leisure. This will also be helpful to those individuals who are unable to attend this live stream. The Fresno College Night event site will remain active for the entire fall season, so you can return at any time to watch this presentation or any others that you may have missed. This session is being presented in Zoom webinar mode. Attendees are automatically muted to avoid background noise. You can participate in this presentation by asking questions. To do this, use the interaction tools found at the bottom of your Zoom window. You will see an icon labeled Q&A. Please select that icon to open up the new window. Now, you should be all set to use the function and able to see questions which are answered during the webinar. You also have the ability to upvote your favorite questions. At the end of the presentation, we will answer some of the most popular. Today, we are honored to host the following experts on this topic: Amber Esquivel, Angelica Robles-Train. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our panelists and thank them for taking the time to present on this important topic. Let's begin. If you could please share your screen.
Thank you, TJ. So again, my name is Angelica Robles-Train. I'm an EOP academic counselor at Fresno State. Welcome, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amber Esquivel. I'm outreach counselor at Fresno State as well. Let's get started. So as we mentioned before, we will be taking questions. So filter those questions into the Q&A. We're going to answer those at the end of our webinar and answer as many questions. So just keep adding them into the Q&A and we'll get to those at the end. All right, so again, my name's Amber. I am the outreach counselor for the Native American Initiative from the Department of Outreach and Special Programs. I come from the Picayune Rancheria Chukchansi Indians, and I'm also a Fresno State alum. I graduated with my bachelor's in liberal studies and then my master's in school counseling K through 12. If you have a pen or pencil ready, write down my email if you need to contact me. It's my last name, then my first name, esquivelamber@csufresno.edu. You can also call me. I'm still taking phone calls even though we're working from home. 559-278-4430. That's my direct line. Call me if you have any questions or if you have any questions about the information we're going to cover. I'm also taking virtual appointments. So you can type in the link here at tinyurl.com/futurebulldognai. That's just so we can schedule an appointment, we can meet one-on-one, and then I'm gonna go over what we could talk about. The other thing I also have up here is our monthly newsletter. I send a newsletter out each month. It comes in your email box. And it has information like student deadlines for our seniors or even some of our juniors. It has college readiness information, scholarship information, community events. It's all packed in one. It gets to your email each month so you can stay on top of what's coming next for you. And that's tinyurl.com/NAI outreach newsletter. Go on and click the next buttons there. Next, one more. Some of the services that I offer is college admission application assistance. This is for our seniors who are ready to apply to our Cal State Apply application. You can contact me if you need help with that. You can send me an email, phone call, vice versa. This application will open for our seniors and every year, October 1st through November 30th. So that's coming up this October through November. If you're a junior or a sophomore or freshman, when you guys become a senior and it's your first fall semester, that application comes pretty quick. So save those dates. It's always the same every year. The other thing I do is classroom presentations or presentation just like this, and we cover A through G requirements, pathways towards higher education, campus resources. So if you would like to see me again, request a presentation, We can also do virtual campus tours. In our Office of Outreach and Special Programs, we're currently taking campus tours online for your class or your families, whichever you would like. As I mentioned, one-on-one student appointments by using that link, or you could send me an email and say, hey, I would like to meet with you about my A through G, making sure I'm on track. The next thing that I do in my office that's coming up is I host the Native American Youth Conference every year, 6th to 12th grade students. We cover pretty much all this information that I'm sharing with you right now. And that conference for 2020 is going to be hosted next Friday. If you click on the next one there for me, it's going to be Friday, September 18th, right there on your screen, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm still taking student registration. Again, 6th to 12th, we're going to be live on Zoom, and you can register at fresnostate.edu/outreach. That is our website. Click on the Native American Initiative tab, and then you can find the information where to register. Thank you.
So we're going to take a quick poll. We want to talk about trailblazers again. We're talking about first-gen students, those that don't have parents that graduated from a four-year university. So we want to know, are you the first in your family to step foot on a university? And I know due to the pandemic, we're not physically stepping foot on universities. However, are you the first in your family to get involved, to be eligible to go to the university? Are you the first in your family to have an opportunity to attend? Are you also the first in your family to attend Fresno Area College Night? So again, we want to know, are you the first? Are you a trailblazer? We'll take a minute to take the poll answer. And we want you to start thinking about as well, what are you the first in your family to do? There might be things that you've never thought about being the first in your family, right? So for example, I've talked to students that said, I'm the first one to go to the beach. I am the first one to have gone to the movie theater. So as amazing as that might sound. So again, start thinking about what are you the first one in your family to do? What are you a trailblazer of? And as you can see, the poll there, yes, you're the first one to step foot on the university. You're a trailblazer. You're the first in your family to have an opportunity to attend the university. You're a trailblazer.
Right.
You're the first in your family to attend Fresno Area College Night. That's really exciting. You are a trailblazer.
That's awesome. I was a trailblazer too, and I didn't even know it for a long time. But that's okay. That is that's fine. We're all in this together, and that's what Angelica and I are here to do, is to help you get to higher education.
Yes.
Okay.
So what is higher education? So we have the textbook dictionary definition. Higher education is typically defined as education beyond high school, right? Especially at a college or university. But for so many students, it means so much more. It means opportunities. It means becoming more independent. It means expanding your social circle, being exposed to different ideas, to diverse peoples. So again, think about what higher education means for you.
And we wouldn't be talking about higher education if we weren't going to show you how to get there. So let's go on to the next slide. Okay, so these are the CSU requirements. If you're a senior, as I mentioned, Cal State Applied, that's coming up for you to apply to any of the CSU campuses, California State University. There are 23 in California. And that website is calstate.edu/apply. Write that one down, or you could do a search in Google, for example. But that's the first thing, you gotta apply. The next thing is you have to complete your A through G requirements with a C or better grade, okay? With a C or better grade. A through G are the courses that you'll take in high school throughout your 4 years that are college prep courses. We'll cover that next. The next thing you need to do is take the ACT or SAT test. Now that's going to be different for our fall 2021 seniors right now. That testing is exempt given to our situation here that is going on around us. But for future students and from the past, that's what students had been taking. The next thing is you complete your high school diploma or graduate, or equivalent. So you gotta graduate still. And then The next one is our CSU minimum total GPA is a 2.0. Now that is the minimum GPA to get into a CSU, but that could change depending on which campus and which major. Every campus is different. For example, I'll give you a quick one. Nursing, very popular. It's gonna be a higher GPA than a 2.5. Engineering is another popular, social work is another popular major, what you would like to study. So they won't be a 2.5, they could be a 3.5 or higher. Okay, and that grade, that GPA is pulling from your 10th and 11th grade A through G courses. So you still have to take your 9th grade A through G and your senior year, but to get that GPA, we're looking at your 10th grade and your 11th grade courses. That's where that GPA comes from. And then the multi-factor admission score. Now that is new for our fall 2021 students. Because the SAT and the ACT is being canceled, they've come up with the multi-factor admission score, which each campus will determine their own score, but it could include some of the following. So now we're looking at what other A through G courses did you take on top of the minimum requirement? So we'll be looking at those classes. We'll also look at your household income of the applicant. Extracurricular activities, super important to be involved, or if you've been involved in the previous years. We're going to look at that information. There'll be questions on your student math GPA, work experience, volunteer experience. We'll look at the application fee waiver. Did this student, get an application fee waiver? If you're first gen, if you're low income, there's many other factors that we could look at to determine your admission score for this fall 2021 cycle. Okay, so I just want to give you a little tidbit of that. If you need more information on this, feel free to contact me and I could talk more with you about that, okay? Alrighty, so A through G requirements. I'm not going to ask to raise your hand if you know what these are. If you don't know, we highly encourage you to reach out to myself or your high school counselor there. Again, these are the classes that you need to take in high school throughout your 4 years. So the first is,
period. I feel like
the first is history and social science. You need 2 years of that course. If you take a third year, that would be awesome. English is 4 years. And of course, you got to take English every single year from your freshman to your senior year. Math. Now, math is only 3. But we are recommending that you take that 4th year of math, especially if you're a senior right now. We are super encouraging our seniors to take that 4th year of math and continue taking your A through G comp English course. Those are super important because that SAT is not being available to us, or the ACT score. Number D is our laboratory science. You need 1 bio, 1 physics. If you take a chem, that would be your 3rd year. That would be super awesome if you could. I highly encourage you to do that. The next one is a language other than English. You need 2 years of that. Again, this is an area where you could extend, take a 3rd or 4th year of a foreign language. One thing to keep in mind for this is that the language has to be the same language for both years. So you have to take Spanish 1. Let's say, for example, you take Spanish 1, you take French 1. Does that count for 2 years? No. You have to take Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 in order to make that requirement. So just want to let you know it has to be the same language. The next one is your virtual and performing arts. Just an art class, drama, dance, music, band even, ceramics, floral design, whatever your school has to offer in an art field is 1 year. And then a college prep. This college prep could be an additional Spanish course. It could be additional math course. There could be many other electives that your school has to offer. You just need the 1 year. But before that, if you can add on that additional math or additional science or Spanish, let's say foreign language, that would be super awesome. But again, as I mentioned, all these courses need to have a C or better grade to be equivalent for a 4-year university. Okay, if you get a D or F in one of these classes or a semester, you have to retake it in summer school or the next school year in order to meet the requirements. Okay.
So let's talk about some resources for success. We want to make sure that, again, we're not just talking about the A through G requirements, but what are some of those resources that might be available at your high school that you could be utilizing right now? So I want you to think about those resources. What are the ones that are available, whether it's tutoring, maybe it's going in and connecting with your teacher, right? During after school or before school. What about the resources that you're currently utilizing? Is there something that's working for you really well that maybe you can share with your classmates? What resources should you be using? So do they have tutoring? Do they have after school program? Are there clubs and orgs that you can be a part of? And that will help you meet some of these requirements. So I want to talk about Upward Bound. It is a program that is geared toward high school students. If you are part of Edison High School, Madera and Madera South, Fresno, Roosevelt, McLean High School, and you're meeting those eligibility requirements in 9th and 10th grade, have a 2.8 cumulative GPA, this is a program that's going to help you get ready for college, build that college going culture. So again, consider looking into some of these programs. If you don't know about this program, talk to your high school counselor. If they don't know about this program, go to the next adult that is going to know something, that's going to be able to share some resources with you. Educational Talent Search. Again, this program also targets a similar population that the Educational Opportunity Program targets, those low-income first-gen students at Firebaugh, Mendota, Redwood, Riverdale, Tulare Union, Tulare Western, Granite Hills, Wenatchee, Porterville. So if you're part of those high schools, make sure that you're asking an adult at your school about this program, or contact Fresno State directly. We do have a phone number there. There is a website. Amber mentioned Google before. If you want to Google some of these, again, make sure you're taking notes and writing down Educational Talent Search. So try to get connected with some of these programs. They're going to be really beneficial for you to get ready for college. We also have Central Valley Cal SOAP. So again, high schools are Kerman, Tranquility, Mendota, Firebaugh. They include services that are going to help you gear up and get ready for college. And again, similar criteria, first gen, low income, be in a high school that's in a geographic region with documented low eligibility or college going rates. There's programs out there that want to help you get ready to go to school. We want those trailblazing students, so don't forget that. So for me, going to school, going to university, I was a first gen student as well. I was scared beyond belief. I'm from Fresno, born and raised. I went to Santa Cruz as an undergraduate, so it was like a whole new world, right? And I was scared, and I didn't know what to do because my parents didn't go to college, but you have to find a person, a place, a program that's really going to help you get through some of these anxieties, some of these fears. So I want you to check in with yourself. Think about what excites you most about college. For me, it was being more independent, getting away from my family. Yes, it was scary, and I was homesick all of the time, but at the same time, it was also an exciting thing to be on my own. And I was most anxious about meeting new people. I think that's natural, right? Anytime you're in a new environment and meeting new people, it can be a very scary thing. And I was an EOP student at University of California, Santa Cruz, and I was also part of a student group. And so that really helped me find my home away from home. So we want you to keep a few resources in mind.
Alrighty, so at Fresno State, we have the Native American Initiative, where I come out of the Outreach and Special Programs department. And our main goal there is to increase the number of American Indian students we have applying to the university and graduating. So first, I come in the Outreach and Special Programs. I service K through 8. I also help out our high school students and our transfer students. Transfer is if you go to community college and you're wanting to transfer with your 2 years, then I can help you get resources there. We also have the Cross-Cultural and Gender Center on our campus, the CCGC. They do events on campus. It's really focused for helping our students find a place on a place on home, for our students. So we have different groups, different affinity groups. There is the American Indian room. They have a Harambe room for African American students, another room for our LGBTQ plus and our Chicano Latino. There is one for our Pacific Islanders, etc., etc. Okay, and they also host events on our campus as well, culturally centered. We also, next one down the list is we have our American Indian Studies, who is our director, Dr. Leslie Oliver. She teaches the classes. She also teaches women's studies classes. And so we have her on our campus. And then we have our American Indian Faculty and Staff Association, which Angelica and I are both a part of. And one thing that we are super excited for having our association is that we get to host and organize our Native American graduation ceremony each year for our graduates. You can see a little picture there on the slide from our 2016 grads. It's a very special ceremony. We blanket our students, as each one of them there has a blanket for their success in graduating college. It's not only for our students, but it's also for their families. So we honor their student and the family as well. So I went through that ceremony there on our campus, and every campus pretty much has a ceremony as well. Okay, moving on though to the next one, we have our Native American Club, which is NUM, Native American Student Association, AKA our Native Club on campus. It's open to all students on our Fresno State campus, and the big event that they host is our Fresno State Powwow. So if you've never been to a powwow, we host one pretty much every single year in the springtime, and it's all student-led. So the students get together, they organize the event, the date, the flyer, the vendors, the dancers, etc. It's all student-run and student-led. So that is the club, but we're not the only club on our campus. We have over about 300 different other clubs and fraternities or sororities that you can join on our campus. So I would highly encourage you guys to reach out, look for different clubs and groups to join on our campus, and not just Fresno State, any other university that you attend. Join a group, because that will really help you develop team building, but just have a network on your campus, right? Someone to go to, someone to talk to about what you're feeling or what you're going through. And this just being involved will help overall with your college experience, okay?
I want to talk about student support service programs at Fresno State. Again, we have a diverse population at Fresno State. We want to serve a diverse population that's representative of the students that are coming to Fresno State, whether you're first gen, low income, disabled, or differently abled, or veteran. Again, student support services programs has something for you. So again, once you get into Fresno State, make sure that you are connecting with an advisor, with a counselor, with Amber, so that we can direct you to some of these different programs. The Educational Opportunity Program, again, it's near and dear to my heart as an academic counselor with the Educational Opportunity Program. Again, we serve trailblazing students coming into the university for the first time as a freshman or a transfer student. And who is eligible for EOP? You have to be a California resident or AB 540 eligible, undergraduate students with a history of low income, and a first-time applicant to the CSU. So again, this is really important. If you don't apply as a first-time applicant, either as an incoming freshman or an incoming transfer student, and you start attending the university, it's going to be too late to apply to EOP. So this is the critical time if you are applying to a California State University campus, that you also remember to apply for EOP at the same time. So EOP application, it is again included in the Cal State Apply application. Just marking yes that you're interested in EOP does not mean that you have completed the application. A lot of students will mark yes and then skip the EOP application, submit their Cal State Apply application, and forget to complete the EOP application. So it's so important that if you mark yes and decide to come back to it later, that you do remember to come back to it later. Again, the application deadline for this coming fall 2021 academic year 21-22 is December 4th. So that's the same deadline for the EOP application. And then included in the application, you do have to identify 2 individuals that are willing to submit an EOP recommendation form. So make sure that you have those emails ready of those individuals that are going to be able to talk about you. And that deadline is December 18th of this year for, again, the fall 21, spring 22 academic year. Spring transfers are sometimes admitted. It just varies from year to year. So you want to keep up with those deadlines on the Cal State Apply website. For more info about EOP and EOP admissions, please feel free to contact our EOP admissions office at 278-6025 or our EOP admissions coordinator, Irene Bettis, at irenep@csufresno.edu. And a few tips. So these are tips that no one else is getting. So you have to answer every question thoroughly. That's so critical because the answers that you provide on the EOP application sometimes tell a much, much more brilliant story of you than the numbers that you include in there ever will. So even though we're asking about parent or guardian income to establish a history of low income, and we want you to include any income from like public assistance, for example, if you don't answer the questions thoroughly, sometimes we don't know what the numbers are really telling us, and it's hard for us to determine if you're eligible for EOP. So another tip is if the answer is 0 or doesn't apply, then please include 0 or NA, because again, through your biographical statements, that's going to let us know, oh, okay, this is why this answer is 0 or doesn't apply. And so again, those autobiographical statements are an opportunity for you to tell us the beautiful, brilliant story of your life that the numbers don't tell us, okay? So please, please, please answer those questions thoroughly. So that concludes the formal presentation. We're gonna go through some of the questions in the chat. It looks like the chat was fairly busy, but if you're going to log off now, I wanna say thank you so much. We appreciate your time today. This was a wonderful opportunity for me to share with you. Amber, would you like to add anything before we jump into the questions?
Yes, so just feel free to reach out to us. We are from Fresno State. If we have a question that we don't know, quite not sure how to answer, we will definitely get you the resources or connect you with the people to get you that information. Again, we're from Fresno State, but if you have a question about, let's say, Fresno City or another campus, a UC campus, we will try our best to get you the best information that we can. So don't hesitate to reach out to us, and then we'll cover the questions next.
Yes, so as we're covering the questions, I'm going to show you one way to connect with us is through social media. I know a lot of students nowadays are on social media, so we have some handles right there if you want to check that out as we're answering the question. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the first question. So what if I'm an early grad and didn't get a junior year? Well, congrats, that's really awesome. So I'm going to tackle a little part of this, and then Amber, feel free to jump in. So as long as you're meeting the A through G requirements, you have the equivalent of a high school diploma, whether that's the GED or the high school diploma, and you're meeting the other application requirements, you could still be eligible to apply to California State University, Fresno. Amber, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, even if you're an early grad, you could still apply to universities. I mean, congrats, you're getting ahead of the game here, but yeah, you're still good to go. Again, if you had any questions about that, we can definitely set up a meeting to talk more.
Yes. So I see the next question is about criminology. What GPA would be required for criminology? And I'll add a little bit of that. So due to impaction, which is just a really fancy way of saying that we have a lot of students that are trying to apply and a limited number of spots, sometimes those GPAs do vary a little bit. But if you're connecting with admissions and recruitment, they're going to help guide you through some of those questions as well. So for the most up-to-date answers, just make sure you're connecting with admissions and recruitment at Fresno State or whichever university that you're applying to.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, you can also go onto the admissions and recruitment website through Fresno State, and they have a list. If you click first-time freshmen, they have a list of the GPAs for all of our majors at Fresno State for the minimum. So I see there was a nursing question there, criminology question. It's on the website. Personally, I think you have it on the screen here. If not,
yes.
I search Fresno State admissions and recruitment, or you search Fresno State first-time freshman requirements, that website will come up, and you can look on there for the pre-required or the majors impactions, and all the GPAs will be on there.
Yes, so I see a question about extracurricular activities. So if you don't have extracurricular activities, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get into Fresno State. It's just one of the factors that they'll look at in that multi-factor analysis that Amber was previously talking about. But again, think broadly about extracurricular activities. Do you babysit? Do you help your siblings with homework? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're part of a club or a sport or have a job. It could mean any of those things. But again, we have students that, because of their parents being at work all day, have to babysit. So those are things that we want to know when you're completing your statements for your application. So let us know those things.
Yeah, even church, being involved in your church, anything like that. If you did a camp, if you're involved in a camp over the summer, something like that, just to get your mind thinking of other things outside of the school and your day-to-day classes that you've done.
Amber, I see that some people have very specific questions about their cases in meeting A through G requirements. Would you recommend they contact admissions and recruitment to get those answered?
Yes, you can also contact admissions and recruitment. Their phone number, if you want to write that down, is 559-278 24. I'm sorry, am I losing it? Is it 24? I used to have this memorized. I apologize on advance. I'll get that number for you to call. But if you go to admissions and recruitment website, they have their information there posted. They also do live Q&A on their website as well, that you can submit a question on there. Let's see.
And as you're looking that up, someone asked about recommend going to community college or a UC. So I think that just depends on a number of factors. It depends on, what your financial and your family situation might be. So I see it as a benefit if you're trying to stay closer to home sometimes, but it just really depends. I think more and more now we're trying to serve transfer students, and there are some really awesome programs that are up and coming and established at Fresno State that serve transfer students. So again, I think either way, you just have to kind of weigh your pros and cons about that. And students are asking about if they can contact me for help to apply for EOP. Yes, I'm going to include my email as one of the answers. If you want to contact me about the EOP application, feel free to do that. My email is aroblestrin@csufresno.edu or aroblestrin@csufresno.edu.
Also, I just wanted to let you know that reach out to your high school counselor about your A through G courses specifically, because they can also help you determine what you need to do, what classes that you'll need to take as well, especially when it gets into AP classes, IB classes. There's different requirements for UC, CSU, and the community college.
And I see a lot of questions about specific programs. So yes, we have 8 different colleges at Fresno State, over, I'm going to forget this number, but I believe it's over 65 different majors,
yes,
including criminology, psychology, forensic behavioral science. So someone was asking about that. A lot of questions about nursing. So nursing is one of those very impacted programs, very popular, but very much needed, right? And so if you have questions about nursing, again, admissions and recruitment, we have an admissions and recruitment counselor for each of the different colleges at Fresno State. And so that admissions and recruitment counselor is going to help you really navigate some of those questions about the nursing requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see.
I saw a question about first gen on here. It says, what if a sibling is barely thinking about attending college? Does that make them first gen college student?
Yes, it does make them first gen. So sometimes there are different definitions of first gen. And at Fresno State, what we considered first gen is if your parent or guardian has not graduated with a 4-year degree. So again, if I have students that are siblings that I work with. I've even had a family that I think it was like 4 of their siblings were all attending college at the same time. Amazing, right? But again, just because your siblings attending university with you at the same time doesn't not make you first gen. You're still considered first gen, or a trailblazer, as I like to say.
Mhm.
I see a question about algebra 1 in 8th grade. Yes, so that still counts through your for your A through G requirements. So again, as long as it's listed on that A through G list, which you can find on the Cal State Apply application, that is considered, even if you took it in 8th grade, A through G. So someone asking about other options in the medical field. So again, we do have a pre-medical under biology, pre-pharmacist, pre-psychology, pre-vet, so many pre's, right, Amber?
Yeah.
So we do have a number all under psychology. Sometimes it's recommended to take chemistry or chemistry minor, which is less units than like the major area of study that you're going to focus on. So lots of different options at Fresno State. Yes, undocumented students are able to apply for EOP as well. Let's see, can we contact you to talk about majors? I'm happy to talk with anyone about majors. I'm not the expert on all of the majors, but I'm happy to point you in the right direction. Let's see, Amber, do you want to answer the question about our ACT and SAT required or optional?
Yes, so we have been getting a lot of confusion on this one, I understand. So for the CSU system, it's if you take the test, we will accept the score, but we're not requiring all our students because they have canceled it and they have changed that for our fall students. So instead, we've developed the multi-factor admission selection. That's where we're talking about, okay, if we can't use our test because we used to use that score for our index for your eligibility, then we're going to look at other areas like we've been mentioning, the extracurricular work experience, additional A through G courses that you've taken. So it's not required, it is optional, but if you take the test, you can still submit your scores into whichever campus that you're applying to.
Mm-hmm. And I see a question about attending community college, getting associates with another major. Can you enter another program when transferring to CSU Fresno? Yes, you can. So I recommend though trying to look at the prerequisite requirements, working closely with the counselor at your community college to determine what are going to be some of the requirements that you can complete at the community college that will count towards your major area of study once you get to Fresno State. But yes, you can certainly change it up and pursue something different at the Cal State that you apply to.
Okay.
Let's see.
It says, can we take a course at Fresno City, for example, for a certificate while attending Fresno State? And yes, you can. You can take, some students, they take one class, let's say at Fresno City, and then they also enrolled at Fresno State. The only thing to keep in mind with that is you can't share your FAFSA money. It has to go to one campus. So typically if you're at Fresno State, students will send their FAFSA scholarship money to Fresno State and then pay out of pocket or with another grant, let's say to Fresno City.
So we're going to take a few more questions because we want to be mindful of TJ's time and of Renee's time, who's our captioner today. We appreciate you. And so let's see, I'm going to try to see if there's a more common question. We do have child development major. We also have family sciences, internship opportunities for nursing students. Lots of nursing questions today. Awesome. So internship opportunities. So our program in nursing does require clinical placements. I don't know if that answers the question, but students are required to complete clinical rounds in different settings. So those are worked out with the department and sponsored by the department. So there are opportunities for internship there. High school. I'm not quite sure what FFA is, but there's a question. I want to pursue a crim major, but in my first couple of years of high school, I did FFA. Is that Future
Farmers of America?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, that would be like extracurricular activities. That FFA. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Put that down. Yeah.
And then, yes, we do have child development classes at Fresno State. If you want to be a neurosurgeon, I would say you're probably looking at biology, pre-med or chemistry. So awesome. And FBS program. So if you're at the community college thinking about forensic behavioral sciences, I would say psychology, criminology, but really, again, you could pursue one thing, and then as you're transferring to Cal State University, you could switch it up. But again, talk to a counselor at your community college to get some of that support that you need to identify what classes would best be suited for certain majors at the university.
And then before we go, I just want to say our admissions and recruitment, that social media page, if you have Twitter, if you have Facebook, follow that page because they're pretty active on there at FS Go Dogs. It's on all the 3 platforms. I often go there to see what other information they're releasing to our students, especially if you're a senior right now. They're going to be pushing out more information for application workshops that we're going to have online for October and November. So just follow their page. They also have another page from Fresno State is our financial aid and scholarships information. Their Twitter account is very active. If you look up Fresno State Financial Aid, it will pop up. And they also send a lot of information out for what's going on in their office, because I know we get a lot of questions from our seniors and our transfers who are coming in for their applications. So just want to say those social media websites are really, really important to follow.
And a lot of questions about different majors. I would recommend Googling our Fresno State catalog to check out some of the different majors that we have. There was a question about interior design, chemical engineering. So again, check out our catalog. If you just Google Fresno State catalog, you'll find a list of all of the different majors as well as minors, which again is a smaller concentration or area of study as opposed to your main focus, which would be your major. And so again, to be respectful of the time today, we really appreciate your participation, all of your great questions. And thank you again for joining us tonight. Amber, anything to add?
Just that, you know, if you have any other further questions, reach out to your high school counselor. They can help you with your A through G questions, especially if there was a D in one of your courses, let's say, or you have questions about that 8th grade class that you've taken, reach out to them. And if not, you can always reach out to myself, Angelica. We can connect you with admissions and recruitment next door. Well, they're next door to my office. And we can get you the right information that you need.
Yes. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, Renee.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Excellent presentation. For our attendees, just be sure you explore your college options in our virtual college fair. We have many interactive college booths where you can watch videos, download materials, and even chat live with admissions representatives. You will also find that some booths have a schedule of their own live presentations, so make sure you visit the college fair today to enjoy those experiences. This includes our presentation entitled First Generation College Bound Students, I'm the First in My Family, supporting trailblazing students and navigating the university system. Remember that you can come back to the website at any time to watch this recording. It'll be posted to the event website tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, and good night.